Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Maira Ansari. So today we are taking some time and talking with the local Better Business Bureau. My friend Whitney Atkins is giving us some advice on how to protect yourself from identity theft. If you've been a victim of identity theft, I am so sorry. I know that's one of the worst things to go through. Please feel free to share your experience in the comments. Drop me some details about what happened to you, what that was like. Would love to hear your stories here. Whitney, identity theft is so common now. Tell me how often people are becoming victims and what that's like.
Yes, you're correct. Unfortunately, it's probably one of the top scam types of scams that we see reported to BBB. I don't have exact numbers, but I would say just anecdotally, at least weekly, we see at least a couple reports, not necessarily where someone became a victim, but where they encountered an attempted identity theft scam. So it's very prevalent. And it can take on many forms, unfortunately.
How do most people find out that they're a victim to identity theft? At what point does the red flag go up?
So that's the kind of unfortunate part, Myra, is that it's not immediate. A lot of times when folks ask us about, they'll ask us around major events if we're seeing reports of identity theft, and our answer is, not yet, because it takes time for folks to realize, it may not be until they go to open a credit card account or they're buying a new home or doing something that involves a credit check. And then they realize, oh my gosh, there have been accounts opened in my name that I never opened. So that's one way that folks find out down the road. That there's just a litany of ways, but the unfortunate part is it's rare that you find out almost immediately unless you are proactively checking your credit report and things like that. You may not know for several weeks or even months that your identity has been stolen, which can make it, that much harder to clean up and then protect yourself again.
What information do these bad actors need to steal your information? It's pretty much the basics, right?
A lot of times it's the basics. It's a combination of your name and your social security number. Certainly, any type of financial records, things that, we stress, don't give out readily. When you're being asked to, you really want to question, why are you being asked to give out your personal information? You really want to protect that as much as possible, especially things like your social security number, things that are tied directly to you, or your family members who are dependent on you, things like that. Please be very cautious with them. And again, when you have, whether it's a website or someone on the phone asking you for that information, proceed with extreme caution. Make sure you know who you are dealing with and why they need that information.
Some of this information, people ask for, I don't know. I mean, so many times we give out our social security number and don't think of it, or we think, oh, the last 4 digits of your social security number. I mean, can even that be dangerous?
Not necessarily. It's typically when we're giving out the whole number that we, want folks to hit pause. And you're right, there are some cases where that number is legitimately needed. And in those instances, we tell folks, make sure that the website you're on is legitimate. If it's, you're a healthcare provider, a bank, or whatever the case may be, or, if you're applying for a credit card, yes, you're going to need that number. But again, make sure that you're on the website itself. I really try to push folks not to click on third-party links, third-party ads. Certainly, please don't click on links that you receive unsolicited in a text message. These are not the ways that legitimate organizations are going to be contacting you to ask for your personal information. So as long as you are sure that you are on the correct website, you're interacting with a trusted source, then you can proceed with that information. But again, be very cautious.
Talk to me about the path of destruction that's kind of left behind when someone steals your identity. What does that do to that victim?
It's frustrating because it's such a wide web of destruction. Personally, it messes with your credit score, which is used, as we know, in a lot of ways. Whether you need a loan, you're buying a house or a car, you're taking out another credit card. We want that number to be good, and we want it to be accurate. But unfortunately, when your identity is stolen, one of the first things that we see scammers do is start to open accounts in in a victim's name, which, depending on how they're used, can really tank their credit score quickly without them even realizing it's happened. So, we've seen that. We, especially, with social media being so prevalent, we've even seen cases where folks' identities are stolen, their online identity is stolen in order to perpetuate a scam further. So if you, Myra, think you're interacting with me and you trust me, you might be more willing to give out personal information when in fact it's a scammer who has stolen my identity. So it can happen online, it can happen, via snail mail. There's just a lot of ways where your identity going to see, it's going to be very valuable to folks who want to use it for the wrong reasons.
So what do you do when you find out, okay, I am now a victim of this horrible thing? Who do you call? What do you do? Where do you start?
I know first of all, take a deep breath, because I know it's very scary and frustrating, but there are a number of steps you can take. First of all, contact your credit card, any company that you have a credit card with, contact the credit bureaus. You're likely going to want to put a freeze on your credit profile so that no other accounts can be opened in your name until that freeze is lifted. Contact your bank. They will likely want to reissue a debit card, and your credit card companies are going to close your account and reissue you new cards. So you want to contact those folks first, anyone who you interact with for financial reasons. And then reach out to organizations like us. Let us at BBB know. We can provide you with